From the Carolinas, where the black and blue runs deep, Panther Pickle's on the mic, no secrets that he'll keep. Been here since day one, through the glory and the pain. Got opinions sharper than a linebacker's campaign. If you can't handle truth, well, buddy, here's the deal. Shut the hell up. That's how Pickle keeps it real. It's time to deal with it. Every Sunday we ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, folks. This is Panther Pickle. Before I make my introduction to you, welcome to another episode of Deal With It. I want to throw this guy up here right here. So Sean Merriman, shout out my man Rumors, who said Sean Merriman made a post 3 hours ago, and it says I have a Pro Bowl helmet that I walk past every day. It's signed by some of the best players in the history of the NFL. Legends, Hall of Famers, and real goats. The Pro Bowl used to be a badge of honor, respect. Said things have changed. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, wasn't he not true. This Pro Bowl has become less respectful than anything in the NFL. Fact is, it should not exist. I refuse to watch it. I don't think it has value. I don't think it doesn't respect the players. All it is a tool to get somebody more money. I don't respect those who play in it. I don't respect anything about the Pro Bowl. I don't respect Commissioner Goodell, who made all these stupid changes. I disrespect the owners. Fact is, NFL, go to hell. You've embarrassed the Pro Bowl, and I don't like it. The Pro Bowl used to be something of honor that you cherish to watch. Yeah, there were rules, but folks still had fun and played them. Now it's nothing but a disgrace. A disgrace to even vote for the Pro Bowl. And I'm not saying it's because not that many Panthers win in it. I'm saying it because it's a fucking fact. And if you don't like that, you can tweet at me or you can shut the hell up. Dee, my friend, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I agree 100% on the Pro Bowl. It used to be really cool. They would play the Pro Bowl out in Hawaii, and they'd have all the events around it. It was beautiful, and all the players wore their helmets in the game, but they wore the NFC red or the NFC blue. I love the way that they used to do the Pro Bowl. I understand there is a chance for guys to get injured, but that's just part of the game, and enough rules have changed in the NFL where we can go back to making the Pro Bowl as awesome as it used to be. I really can't stand the current format. I think the fans have spoke for everyone, and the ratings, I know the NFL sees the ratings, and they have to know that fans don't like this new format. It's not what the Pro Bowl used to be, Pickle. I miss it as well.
Right. And I know they tried to install talents or these little skills competition and all that. That's just overblown bullshit. That's like taking a pile of dog shit, painting it gold, sprinkling some chocolate flavoring on it, and put it to your neighbor's plate. Tell him it's a brand new gold chocolate album. It's just what it is. Shit. And it's just a disgrace. I remember watching the Pro Bowl. I remember watching Jake Delhomme's very first Pro Bowl. and uh, he was at a skills competition, and he threw better in that skills competition. He won it, and he outplayed Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It was pretty cool. Jake, my friend, what do you think about it?
Nah, I agree. I mean, I haven't watched a Pro Bowl in several years, and this, let's be honest, even years ago, it wasn't the same. The Pro Bowl, in my opinion, hasn't been a legit Pro Bowl and worthy of watching since Sean Taylor type days. I mean, back when they was out there still playing actual football, not this flag football type stuff. I don't watch it. It don't interest me anymore because it's just a bunch of men putting both hands on a player and that's it. There's no tackling.
Right,
And I mean, even like the skill things they have anymore, it's not the same anymore. So I mean, it just don't even interest me in that regard.
right.
I don't care.
Right, exactly, and it's kind of shameful that we feel this way, but it is what it is, you know. Uh, During voting time around December and November, you'll see agents tweeting out, "Send this guy," and fans caught on to that. So then it started being players, and you can tell by that some of these players, the only thing they ever tweet is "Vote for me for Pro Bowl." So it's not their. It may be their official count, but uh it's not run by them, and it's just another tool for an agent to get what he wants in life. And I'm just. Oh, are you ready to talk, brother?
Yeah, it's just skipping a little bit, but it'll catch up in a second.
Right. Tell me what you think about the Pro Bowl, sir.
The Pro Bowl, it used to mean something when I was a kid. It was something that you strive for, and when you had your players on there,
Right.
you knew you had a good team, and it was
Right.
big for that individual player. Now it's just become, I guess, kind of like a popularity contest, like all the
Right.
other All Star games. It really don't mean that much to me anymore. All pros, I guess, matter more than Pro Bowls to me now.
Right. And something also, it used to meant a free trip to Hawaii, and
Sure.
players could take their families, and it was fun to see them there. It was a place that didn't have a massive NFL following because there was no team there, and it was always a place. The Pro Bowl was, and it was so cool, and it had a crowd there because this is a crowd who hardly ever got to go to an NFL game, and they cherished the Pro Bowl. And what we're this NFL is sticking teams all over the world and the globe. What, we can't put a game at the pro at in Hawaii? Really?
They should have a game every year, no doubt about it. As
And it
many
Right,
should
players
never.
in the league that are of Hawaiian descent
right.
or any of the
Polynesians.
islands surrounding that,
Yeah,
yeah, like
hmm
that should be a
yeah.
big moment for all of them.
It's like a kick in the nuts.
It's like the
Yeah,
NFL. It's not like the NFL ain't got enough money for it. I mean, hell, they
Right,
get millions and billions of dollars of income every year. I mean, they could afford to keep it in Hawaii every year. It needs to be in Hawaii every year.
right. Exactly. It does. It
Well,
does.
it'd
I
make
would
it
love to see
back
a regular season.
popular again, guys. It'd make more money. I mean, it would make
Right,
the money. It would pay the owners to invest in it and make it back to what it used to be. And even the quarterback competition, guys, was better back in the day than it is now. And they have cooler stuff for more accurate throws, grading the guys on that, and it doesn't matter. Even the older stuff that was less sophisticated was still a cooler competition than what they have now. Just get the
right.
guys out there in the field and just, hey, how far can you throw it? And we're gonna judge on who can throw it the farthest. Just an old school competition, Cole.
Yeah,
I miss that.
yeah.
The week leading up to that, you're right, Deeze. There was a whole lot of events that showed off these players' talents and skills. I do miss those
In the
little.
old Pro
It
Bowl,
didn't mean that much then, but
in
it
the
did
old
now.
Pro Bowl, they had garbage cans, three different
Yeah,
size garbage cans, and the
sure do
quarterback
remember that.
had to throw that ball into that garbage can, and people didn't realize how hard it was to get you know a ball
It
in
was
a
pickle,
trash
but those
can.
quarterbacks were dropping them in there like it was
Yeah,
nothing. We were looking
yeah,
at you funny if you
yeah,
weren't.
and I mean, and then I remember one year toward the end, they got a crane and hooked a tire on a rope to it and swung that tire, and you had to hit that ball had to go through that as it swung. There wasn't a whole lot of quarterbacks
Crazy.
to do that.
No.
But absolutely, I think the
I think
Pro
it was a
Bowl has
pride
become
thing too, Pickle.
right. It
Like
was,
the
it
whole
was,
contact thing,
it
just
was,
everything.
and you know, there were players that would get voted to it every year, but those players understood. Some of them went, some of them didn't, and you kind of understood that, you know. And it was a sense also where players. I remember several Panthers. Julius Pepper's one of them. Went to the Pro Bowl when he was convinced by other teammates at the Pro Bowl that he could do a lot better if he went on a different team, and he did. So that happened a lot at the Pro Bowl, and you know, stuff like that's in my memory. And you know, to look at the Pro Bowl now is just a kick of my nuts, and it's an embarrassment. But Jake, my friend, what are we watching Tuesday?
Oh, we will be watching the Shrine Bowl. I'm looking forward to. I know that all y'all are looking forward to some future Carolina Panthers. You know, that's something that
Right,
I've been interested in the last few years. I've actually started watching the Shrine Bowl, and it's worthy to be watched. I really do enjoy it because them guys are out
right,
there showcasing their skills and putting their all out there
right.
for all the GMs and head coaches to watch them.
Right, and you know, people want to talk about the quarterbacks that get drafted on a Saturday, or these players that get drafted on the second or third, or you know, watch that Shrine Bowl. You'll see some of them players. You know, there's a guy from Virginia Tech, no, Georgia Tech, that I think that will get drafted and Saturday, and I think a team's going to get a diamond in the rough. I believe he will be the next Joe Milton, but I don't remember his name.
Are you
Jake,
talking about Tech's quarterback? It's Kyron Jones.
Georgia Tech.
No, you said Hayes King. You said Virginia Tech. Because you come on Georgia Tech, and that's Hayes King.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Georgia
Hayes
Tech's Haynes
King.
You
King.
are on to something with him, Pickle, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited about Hayes King. I can't wait for us to get into some breakdown discussions of that guy. It's good, especially after the comments from Dan Morgan. It's going to be a really interesting
That's
conversation
it.
coming up.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Let's get into this breakdown of the defense. I'm getting antsy. I want to. I hope y'all can see that. Uh, but
I don't have my
Just
regular
remember
glasses
last
on.
week we went over each position on the offense and
right,
what we kind of wanted to upgrade and kind of how we felt about what we had on
right,
the depth there. And then tonight is the extension of that. We're going to finish up going through the defense. We did touch on special teams a little bit, Pickle, but I did want
right.
to point out we did not talk about returners. So if you wanted to touch on returner, that's one thing we left
All
kind
right.
of untouched
We
from
will.
last week from my recollection.
We will. We absolutely will. Uh, Deeze, tell me what you think of the Panthers D line.
All right. So you mentioned not too long ago, and I don't remember on what show it was because we've got quite a few going here on the Blue and Black Attack now. But you were talking about how you felt about Ashawn Robinson returning and how you felt that he may not be coming back. And I feel like he's a glue guy. I feel like he's a culture guy. But at the same time, I feel like we could upgrade that position. I know where you're coming from. We've been drafting there, trying to build that position. Guys like Cam Jackson brought in a guy like Bobby Brown III for competition there on Ashawn. I think at this point, I'm the team and myself are kind of on the fence about Ashawn Robinson. Are we looking to pay big money to keep kind of an average player that's a good glue guy and a good culture guy? I mean, I do think he's a leader in that locker room. I do think other players look up to him, Pickle, but his on field production, he's maxed out here. He's done the best that he's
Right,
ever done in the NFL. And how much more upside is really remaining here for Ashawn Robinson would be my real question.
right. Well, I'm gonna go over. I think the best guy on our defensive line is Derek Brown. I want y'all to hear me when I say
Yes.
this. I don't believe there's anybody left in the defensive line room that's honorable enough to hold his dirty jock strap. Ashawn Robinson,
I didn't believe he was in that.
he's a very good, as you say, he's a leader. His cap
He's a good
is
player.
12.6, 12.5. We signed Bobby Brown, who ain't done much. We signed Trisha Wharton, who's massively overpaid. And we drafted Cam Jackson, who's looked like a late round rookie.
You know.
The rest of them aren't even worth talking about. They're camp slobs. Ashawn Robinson is a vet I would love to keep if he would redo his contract. Just because if I'm going to be honest, he's better than Bobby Brown and Tashore Wharton combined. I mean that with respect to Bobby Brown. He's a run stopper. That's all he is. That's all he ever will be. Okay, he's not going to be a guy that you're going to use in a breakdown or in a pass rush situation. Tashir Wharton was hurt a lot. He was overpaid. I don't think they used him right anyway. And right now, if I'm Brandon Tillis, if I could figure out how, I would cut him. But that's not. But and I was on a space a couple weeks ago, and a guy wanted to criticize Derek Brown. And my question that I never got answered is, Cole, you help me. How many offensive linemen do we have? How many offensive linemen go against the defensive line at any given time in the NFL? 5. Thank you, Jake.
5.
5,
right?
right?
Tackle. Yeah, right
Okay.
tackle, left tackle, right
Now,
guard, left guard, and center. 5 of
when
them.
you're a nickel or dime, you generally have 4 defensive linemen, 2 edges, and 2 tackles. Correct?
Sure.
And if
Yes.
if Derek Brown takes up 2, he takes up say a guard and a center, right?
Yeah.
Hell, Pickle, we've seen triple teams
that
at times this year. If you want to get honest,
Well,
I've seen it.
Well, right,
Dallas did it.
But does that not mean the other defensive
triple
linemen
team.
are one-on-one?
Oh, they should
Yeah.
be flourishing. No,
Where
there's
the
no.
hell
I see
are
where you're
they?
going with that. There's
Picking
absolutely
their
no
nose,
excuse.
scratching their
There's
jockstrap,
absolutely no excuse
adjusting
for
their
them not
bobby
to have more
pins.
production than we do right now.
I mean, it's
Everybody
jackass
outside
stupid
of
to
Derek Brown.
criticize the best defensive lineman on our team while saying, well, the other ones just ain't as good and they're going to try and horse shit.
Let's keep it real. If we're going to keep it real, let's keep it real. If our secondary wasn't as great as it was this year, our defense wouldn't even have been middle of the pack.
Oh, we'd be
Exactly.
horrible.
You're 100% right.
That's what I was
Absolutely.
getting ready to have my little speech about, Jacob. Is that right now?
Right. Dee Money, my
I don't
friend.
think.
Welcome to the program.
Pickle.
How you doing today?
Hey, what's going
Deeze in here.
on?
What's up, D?
Another opportunity to chill with the Blue&Black attack. I'm loving the show already. I ain't gonna hold up too much longer. But hey, like always, if you ain't with us now, you ain't welcome to the parade.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And and that's my feeling. And like I said at the beginning of it, some of y'all ain't gonna like it, but that's too bad. That's the way I feel. I'm a big defensive guy. I tried to fall in love with the guys on the defense. I saw Bobby Brown, a 25-year-old traditional nose tackle who's basically only a 2-down player. I saw Tashir Wharton, who should be playing a lot of third down, playing a lot of downs because we don't have anybody else to rush the passer. And when he was out there one-on-one and he was healthy, he was still ineffective. Maybe as I was talking to Anthony in a group chat earlier this week, maybe, just maybe, the Panthers should have had him paid Milton Williams that money. Just maybe. Because losing him and spreading that money out so far ended up jack shit. So that takes us to the linebacker room. We're going to go to the inside linebacker room. We're going to go to Trevin Wallace. Where the flippin' fuck are you? Learning your ABCs, your arithmetic? But that's all the hell you showed on the field. When you on the field, you started to look good. But, bro, your best ability is availability. And it's hard when you ain't available. You need to figure out what your problem is and adjust it. Tristan Roseboom, well, my friend, you did all right when you were on the field in run stop. but it kind of negative are your pass lacking. But if I'm going to calculate Tristan Roseboom, Tashir Wharton, and Bobby Brown's all combined, their pay, uh, Milt Williams probably would have been a better deal. So just saying.
Yes, he would have by a lot.
Yeah. Now, Claudette Claris, the staff
Proud of
loves
him.
you. The staff loves you. When you ain't hurt, you looking good on that field. But you like that Trevor Wallace. You always hurt. I don't know that you even finished the game all year. So again, your best ability is availability, and don't account for much if you ain't on that field. Christy Barnes, dude, I like it. I think you should have played. I think we would have had a better shot at winning that playoff game if you were on the field instead of the others. Some of the others. That's strictly my opinion. Bam Bam, Martin Scott, I like you, but I need to. I'm sure you'll be back next year. You need to do something on that field to give me a reason to keep you. But that's just me. And
See a
contrary to
little more
what
next
this
year. I am.
right, contrary to what this list says, Isaiah Simmons is going to play safety as long as Ivero is here. There's no use to talk about him yet. Y'all got anything you want to add to all that?
I do.
Go
I
ahead.
want to go all the way back to your. I want to go all the way back to your defensive line, Pickle. I think the thing that jumps out most to me, and this might even be an answer on the depth chart, but you cannot have Turk Orton starting going into next season. I hate that I was right about it. I'm not really going to run victory laps about it, but I did not want that man whatsoever. And then once I learned that we weren't getting Milton and the pieces that we got back, I think every single one of them, outside of a flash or two from Bobby Brown, and then very, very consistent play from Merrick, everybody else was a failure, and I hated the move. So I hope this year when we do free agent shopping, we do a little bit better, at least in the totality of our class. But we did hit good with Trayvon, and I'm very proud of that because we usually suck with getting secondary players. So I'm
Right.
with that. I'll harp
Well,
that.
I kind of got to disagree to a degree. I don't think it was an absolute failure. I look at like Bobby Brown, for example.
I do.
He didn't start getting played till mid season or whatever. Orton, I understand that availability is the best ability, but we can't gauge injury and how that was gonna happen. Yeah, he's light at a defensive lineman, but I saw a guy with a motor, and I kind of feel like he would have gave more of an effect. Maybe not all the effect that we would want, but I felt like we would have got a little bit better production if he was healthy and so forth. All the things that were said about Ashawn Robinson being a leader, we know what that business Brown, Derek Brown is. I was just happy, like, if we looking at these guys individually, yeah, they're not like but collectively, this defense still went from the bottom to go into the middle. So it gives me some indication that these guys at least had enough feeling working together to be able to pull something off. Yes, I mean, everybody pulling and salivating and whatever. As far as the defensive, definitely what can be had, cool with it. But just don't forget what we had on the defense. For more than giving more just off of his versatility and so forth. And I mean, a GM isn't going to hit every time. And when we look at this defense, yes, could you upgrade just about any of the names that Pickle has yelled off so far? Yes, you could. And I mean, I don't think too many people would be upset about. But I think the biggest thing that I've taken from what Pickle has said is that really the injury bug tackled most of the guys that was on the defense that we actually really needed true production from. But
Right.
outside of that, I agree with a lot of the assessment. I just feel like we still didn't get an honest and clear indication of what a lot of these guys could be for us because, well, injuries just came and they came rapid at one point. And I understand the availability is the best ability. So I don't really push back on anything that was said. But also in the same breath, I still think these guys could give us something.
Hmm.
Yeah. that was the only option that we had. I feel like these guys could still produce for us in a form or fashion. I still believe Bobby Brown could dominate for us if he would have played earlier in the year and got more acclimated into him having to come in at the middle of the year and
Mhm.
not really reaching his full acclimation until about the last couple of games of the season or the last 4 games of the season.
You're not wrong. And one thing when I try to watch some tape and try to watch some film of these guys, and I don't just do it guess. I actually try to watch it. One thing I noticed is there were times when Bobby should have been on that field instead of Wharton. I blame that on the defensive line coach or the coordinator, one of them. And I don't know which one, so I'll just blame him on both. So I figure out who's
You
right.
got to. You got
So,
to.
and again, we're we're advertised as a 3-4. Then people say that, well, we're actually a 4-3 hybrid. And then some other folks will, and then if you actually watch the team, we line up in more 4-2-5 than we do anything else. So maybe Vero needs to quit playing ring around the rosy, actually fix the defense and stay to that one defense. And then maybe he could use the players better in the rotation that they deserve to be in. Um, you know, uh, you
Yeah, I was
know,
going to say for me,
go ahead.
Pickle, it was like the front seven was woefully unprepared for the amount of injuries that we encountered this season. It started early on before training camp, even with Josie Jewell retiring out of the blue. They didn't expect that to happen, and I know they didn't expect Trevin Wallace, just a second year player, to go down and miss as many games as he did.
Right,
Along with that, the Turk Wharton, like you said, how disappointing was that? He looked to be the second best free agent prospect brought in by the Carolina Panthers, missed a good amount of games, and when he was in games, he wasn't as effective as many of us thought he would be. And I agree with both you and Dee Money. It needed to be a substitution there. We saw Turk on plays that we didn't need to see him, where it was better suited for Bobby Brown. And along with that, Ray got a lot more play this year again than he should have. So I
right,
think it's got a lot to do with depth and the quality of depth. And that's why I've been saying to you, we could do a cheap free agent rebuild and fix a lot of our depth problems, Pickle,
right,
and really not spend a lot of money. But it's a
right,
it's a problem that we've seen for the last couple seasons, maybe even the last three, if you want to go that far. But it's
right.
something that needs to be addressed this offseason. It's the bottom of the roster that's the problem because we keep breaking through to it, and those guys end up playing meaningful stats and games. And we know what's going to happen when we have players that are on the bubble list in the NFL, and you're expecting to get solid production out of them. It doesn't always work out. And these are the types of things that we saw with inconsistencies with this defense this season, Pickle. I think it's not only the lack of free agent talent brought in, but the depth of free agent talent that this team really needs on that front seven.
Right. And let's look at this comment by Stephen Belly. Thank y'all for popping in. Please hit the like uh, and share button. I appreciate it. He said, not unusual in a Fangio type defense, frequent pressures with only 4 front, no edge, and rare blitzes. That is true. Vic Fangio runs a defense with the Eagles. The the Broncos defensive coordinator Andy Verrill all run that style Fangio defense. Um, so you can look at the other two and see the talent that they have, add to this one, and this is the talents that we have. So it's kind of mix and match, so to speak. Still have a lot of growing to do on this team. But you know, but let me bop in
You
on
know
the
what?
out. Go ahead, go.
No,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that what it tells me though when you run a defense like that, it means that your defensive coordinator is relying on your 4 man front, so to speak, to win one-on-one battles and create their
Right,
own pressure and not send the blitz. And I've been saying this for years now that Derek Brown needs another running mate, and I think they're gonna do that this offseason. I do think Dan Morgan is gonna have something. In his recipe book, so to speak, he's gonna go out there and get a guy. I really truly
right.
believe that he's gonna get somebody this offseason to help Derek Brown in those situations where they only send 4 people and they still create that pressure that we see how the Broncos do it, the Eagles do it. They don't send blitzes all the time because their 4 man front gets the
Uh,
pressure that they need.
Right, and let me tell y'all, if you ask the old heads, they'll tell you back in '03, and Fox, we didn't blitz a lot then. Well, our linebackers did a lot of coverage, including Dan. We got pressure with our front four, but it was kind of easier then. You had Julius Peppers, Brinson Buckner, Chris Jenkins, and Mike Ruckner on your front four. It's a little easier to get pressure with them four than it was with the four we got now. Uh, now let's me bring to the outside linebacker. Nick Scorton and DJ Wanham started most of the year. Patrick Jones got hurt early on. He did some flashes earlier, but then he got hurt, and we lost him. Travis Gibson kind of replaced him. I was kind of okay with Gibson. He got a couple sacks. He played hard. Um, Princely come in with a lot of pop, a lot of excitement. Then you have Thomas Hincombe, who did nothing basically but special teams, I think. Or if he did do anything on the defensive line, I didn't notice him. Uh, I don't really have a lot of issues. We have a lot of young talent here that's growing and learning. Gibson's just your veteran, been in the league for 6 or years or so, and just a solid vet guy. Played in multiple 3-4s and 4-3s and different. DJ Wanham, DJ Wanham was an embarrassment on this roster. He should have been benched. Um, he should have been benched at least midseason, or at the very least rotated out a whole lot more. And if you say, well, Princely wasn't ready, and maybe Gibson wasn't here or whatever, well, that's nice. But still, Wanham didn't provide much. He was barely noticeable up until we played the Rams toward the end of the year, and he forced a fumble, which Derek Brown recovered, and we ended up winning that game. Um, he did get a sack a couple games later, but overall, I didn't see a lot of DJ Wanham that tells me that he was worth having around. Um, Jake, give me your 3 cents. Tell me what you think, bro.
Nah, I mean I agree, and I'm gonna go with D Money a little bit when he was talking about Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown and Princely to me are two guys this year that I wish we would have saw a lot more on the field. I mean, I do think that they was kind of held back, so to speak. I do think they would have benefited more by being on the field, and I think they would have showed up more on the film and just out in the game. We'd be like, oh man, we've been waiting on that all year round. It's just that they wasn't out there enough to me. I mean, those are two guys that I really thought could spark this defense more so if they was out there.
I agree with you, Jake. The thing for me is I understand completely how everybody's talking about the need of the edge rusher, right? Getting to the quarterback. But I've been saying this. Princely had busted them ribs up. Never really got his spot back after the ribs was busted. But he had a very high motor the early part of the year. He was affecting a lot of things out there on the line. And then, like I keep saying, with old Nick Scott, it wasn't that he couldn't beat his defender. He might have been overshooting. He hadn't learned the rookie inexperience of how to actually maybe
Right.
his ankle of getting to the quarterback. But there was pressures that we were getting from those two young dogs in particular, and how Bobby Brown, like I already spoke earlier about how he was starting to really penetrate offensive lines as he got comfortable or whatever. And so I'm really excited for the future of our edges. I do understand why people want to get a show enough edge, but I'm kind of thinking like we might have them in the building. We just haven't seen it yet. It was quite unfortunate that Princely went down with the ribs and kind of just had a hard time coming back from it. But I think that was more of a rookie thing. He'll find a better way to
Right.
take care of his body and how he trains, how he stretches, and so forth. And I
Mhm.
think Princely is going to be a big piece of what we plan to do next year, in my honest opinion.
Right. And,
I
and
agree with that, D Money. And I was going to add, Pickle, that the EPA per pass rush for Princely was number 10 in the league overall for rookies. He did a great job when he was in the game and healthy, as you pointed
mhm. Yeah, I think
out.
Princely.
I think the injury did set him back. And then Wanham had a ton of pass rushes this season that held
Yeah.
him back. Where Wanham was on the field a lot, played a lot, but just didn't get to the quarterback. And then also when he was dropping in coverage, it was really bad for our defense. And for the most part, I remember at the end of the season, he finally got a pass breakup, but it was like one of the last games of the year, and it's like, why were we putting this guy in this situation where he wasn't really in an opportunity to be successful? If I don't, we saw Wanham as a more effective player last year than we did this year, and it makes me believe that we're trying to put the square peg in the round hole. And if that's the case, we really need to find players that are suited to this system
Absolutely, D.
rather than players that are typical on in these positions. We need to dig a little more, Pickle.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and I will be fair. I'm not. I understand Princely and Scorton are young. They're rookies. They're learning. Princely, for example, I think he grew up this year, and what I mean by in training camp, earlier training camp, he had a good day against Icky, which back then during those early days when there's no contact, he can't really do anything. The offensive line can't really do anything, but uh, uh, Princely had a good game, so of course, and then he went on Twitter and kind of defended Icky. And I think then to now, he grew up quite a bit to understand that just speed will not make it in the NFL. So he has to learn and develop himself better. And I think this year, I think next year Princely and Scorton are going to be by far more better than they were this year. I still think I would look to find an edge rusher to add as depth on this team. Um, I think that's a must. That's his inside linebacker and other needs. Y'all, how y'all feeling? I got everybody.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like how y'all
Yes.
mentioned Gibson as
Yeah,
far as a developmental pass rusher. I mean, a
right,
guy that doesn't cost a lot to keep on the books. I mean,
right,
that's a guy I've got a lot of faith in to continue to grow and develop. He was making plays that other players just weren't
absolutely,
making, and
right,
is that type of effort is a
right. He's 28, but you know what? He had the only sack in our playoff game.
type of effort.
Right, right. Let's go on the corner. We're having some cutting out issues for the fans. We're working through those, so be patient with it. Uh, corner, y'all guys, Mike Jackson, J.C. Horn, and even Charles Smith and Wade did an amazing job. I sure wish Corey Thornton would have stayed healthy. And Evans, number 29, didn't look too bad himself. Uh, he played a lot more than I thought some fans thought he would, but he did play quite a bit. Stepping in for Corey Thornton when Corey got hurt. Um, this is a position grown, but I think everybody can agree that Mike Jackson grew the most this year, and fans really
He
found
did.
someone that they really like. Go ahead, Cole.
Excuse me for the connection issues tonight. It's horrible. I did a system update. Hopefully that'll help some. But I'm flowing now, and y'all are moving at the same time you're speaking, so that's a good thing. Um, I'm going to sound a little bit exotic with this pickle, but I think outside of Derek Brown, Princely, uh, and of course Scorton, if you do a major overhaul everywhere else and spend some serious money and then do the rest of the draft on offense, I know that's kind of far fetched and they're going to do a blend. But if you can kind of focus on that, I really think we have an NFC title game caliber of team. I don't feel like we're that far behind in the division right now. I really don't. In the when it, or conference when it comes to the NFC, I don't. The only teams we can't hang with right now, and we've already beat the Rams, is like the Seahawks, and I feel like they're beatable. We can beat them. There's nobody in the NFC I feel like right now we can't beat, and we're in a rebuild mode. So if you go ahead and attack that and just improve that front seven on the defensive
Right.
side of the ball, pick, well, I think we can do something.
Also, I want to shout out a gentleman on Twitter. I tried to look. I can't. I don't know his Twitter handle, but he's sharing a lot of information about who the Panthers are talking to. Y'all, they're talking to a lot of DBs today. That's just right, Bo. They're talking to a lot of DBs. A
I mean,
lot
we
of
can
them.
might use one more. One more wouldn't hurt.
I really think they should because let's be quite
Right.
honest. One sense of face value, we like what Shaq just made the change, right? But there's a lot of people that would love an upgrade from Shaq. There's people that didn't even feel like Evans should have been on the field. More people were more disappointed with Corey Coates getting in because he showed such a depth. I feel like with JC's injury history, and I'm not trying to jinx what we got going on with you. And then just the kind of motor Mike Jackson played with, and then just the way this NFL pans out where you just never know who's going from week to week. I wouldn't mind having a nice playmaking corner that they can on it. We could get him in the fourth round. We could get him in the fifth round. He could be a young guy in free agency that just didn't make it out in the first rotation that he was in and chose the prerequisite ball skills to play for our team. I just feel like we get to the point where like if Mike Jackson if Mike Jackson went down, we really would have been able to lock if JC would have been gone for an extended period of time, it would have pretty much the talent of the depth chart would have overtook us, and we wouldn't have been able to have to bring another competition. Uh, maybe even you find a journeyman like Isaiah Simmons, we picked him up. He showed us
Right.
you find a guy that's just got a little more dog in him when he gets to 704. But I really think that that second thing is go for another athletic, talented corner. And in my case, more of a taller, long limbed corner. That's kind of where I'm at.
Absolutely. The guy I was talking about with the Panthers, dot breakdown, as you can see. Now he goes into detail. Like 2 hours ago, he said the Panthers have had a formal meeting with Navy defensive tackle Landon Robinson at the Shrine Bowl. Robinson is 5'9", 191 pounds. In our system, he would likely fit edge, or not edge, in defensive end. It says here he's one of the strongest players on the Navy team, squatting 700 pounds and bench pressing 465 pounds. Also a 33-inch vertical and a top speed of 20.1 miles per hour. He was named the Bruce Fieldman's freak list 3 times. Well, that's a pretty good pick, y'all. Anyway, you looked at Arizona. Uh, Grimes. Y'all can follow this and look at all the different ones that they've looked at. Um, there's another DB, another corner from Fresno State. Um, also look at What's Up Doug. He's been doing some interviews as well. We can't forget What's Up Doug. And looked at a center, Nick Dawkins from Penn State. Uh, all these guys are playing in the Shrine Bowl. We know y'all should watch that, right, Jake?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of these guys that you're looking at right now, like all of them, is gonna be at the Shrine Bowl. I
Right.
mean, Dan Morgan and company is gonna be there watching.
Right, right. West Weeks, the Panthers met with him. Doug also did a sit down interview with him, so you're welcome to check that out on Doug's uh, Twitter page as well. He's an inside linebacker, um, and they met with a offensive lineman from BYU who played right guard and right and left tackle, so he fits our pedigree. Um, he's not allowed to sack in 2 years. Well, that's something to stroke about. Anyway, back to the
Just wanted to add, we got Chow
yeah,
Smith Wade from the Shrine Bowl. There was another guy,
right,
can't remember if it was Richardson or somebody else that we
right,
grabbed from the Shrine Bowl crew. So that coverage tomorrow, we will have it here on Blue and Black Attack. So we look
right,
forward to that Shrine Bowl coverage. We're going to
right,
see some of those names again, especially in UDFAs, as we look to further the depth on this defense. Pickle.
right. And to be clarified, we will be I don't think we'll be showing the bowl itself, but we'll be making some comments about it.
Yes,
Uh,
we are.
so y'all join us tomorrow on that at 7 o'clock. Uh, back to the review of the depth chart on defense. I'll jump in on safety here. Morig, Tremont Morig, I think he played a really good. He's exactly what we thought. He was a little shaky at coverage at times, but he made up for it in the running game and the tackling. Nick Scott probably played better than he did last year. Um, I don't really have a great deal of complaints about Nick Scott. I'm not riding his rails, getting him off this team, but he is a free agent. Latham Ransom played quite a bit. I thought was impressed with him. Um, he as the other rookies, he made some mistakes, and he'll he'll learn and get better. And Isaiah Simmons, yes, this list classifies him at linebacker, but he is playing safety. They plan to keep him at safety behind Morig, as long as he's on the roster. And I really hope that they re-sign him. I think it would be a better option for them to keep him here. Um, Real quick, kick return. Um, Trevor Et did some returns as well as Jimmy Horn Jr. Um, this I don't think I ever saw David Moore. I did see Rico and Chuba help out some at returns, which I thought was interesting. But Trevor Et needs to hold on to the ball a little bit better. That's the only negative I'm gonna give about him. Um, um, and Jimmy Horn Jr. needs to play more on offense. I think personally. So, and all these guys are just reserves, are their future contract guys. They are guys that happen to all these teams to add in certain guys back to their roster. A lot of them were on our practice squad all year, so that way we could go into training camp and see how they've developed.
I'm actually very comfortable with our safeties for once. I
Right.
think you can maybe upgrade a little bit from
Yeah. I mean,
that,
it wouldn't
but
hurt.
I don't want to rule out Ransom playing that slot. But I think we're good at safety.
Right.
In
Well, I mean, Nick,
retrospect, compared to what's going on with the rest of our defense, I think we're
right,
good
and
at that.
Nick is a free agent, but if they choose to re-sign him, I don't think it would be much. But I can definitely
You could
I,
add to the room; it ain't
right,
gonna hurt my feelings.
absolutely, absolutely. Jake,
Yeah,
what do
I
you
agree
think?
with Cole.
Yeah, go ahead, D.
Nah, yeah.
I just had something quick, Jake. I was just going to
Go
say, I
ahead.
think it's the front seven where the focus should be, Jake. That's all I was going to say, brother.
No, I completely agree with that. I mean, our secondary, like I said earlier, I think that was our best thing when it came to our defense. If it wasn't for us having a great secondary, I don't think our defense would have been middle of the pack. I really don't. Um, but yeah, I mean, you couldn't go wrong with adding a safety behind Morrig and Ransom. I mean, as a later draft round pick, it wouldn't bother
Right,
me none. I mean, we needed depth.
right, right, right. Now, are y'all impressed with Sam Darnold playing in the Super Bowl? Do you ever think you'd ever see it?
I didn't ever see it, but
D, you're breaking up, my friend. I can barely hear you, sir.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay, well, as far as it comes with Sam Darnold, I'm highly proud of him. We went to 3 days, Washington Football. The main thing for that is if there's a person who is like a very, very bright guy, very, really believes in bright guys, kind of from the building. But the fact that the struggles for playing he had in his mind, he had in his heart, he had it that he wanted to play football. He adjusted to whatever situation. Right now, he's one of those guys that we rarely get to talk about quarterback position who actually is able to play. Shout out to listen to
Jake or Cole. How y'all doing? Uh, what do you think about Sam Darnold playing in the Super Bowl?
I plead the fifth. As soon as you said it, I immediately tasted throw up in the back of my mouth. Next subject.
I mean, in a way, I am kind of happy for that man because that dude has went through some
I
shit,
hate
so
him.
to speak. I mean, I know you can hate him while you want. I mean, he wasn't great for us, but if you go by his story, I mean, especially
Right.
coming from the Jets, oh my God, dude. I mean, there's
Well,
that. Everybody knows that famous video out there where it shows Sam Darnold talk about he's seeing ghosts on the
right.
field. I mean, he went from him going from that to where he's at now. I mean, in a way, you gotta just admire the story. I mean, you
Well,
really do.
y- you're right, Jake. And one thing I looked at it today, I was thinking, I said, I can't say it was a quarterback back then. Sam Darnold's playing a lot better. He's playing for a different team. Um, you know, like it or not, Matt Rule was a mistake here. Both quarterbacks that Matt Rule had have went on to much better success. Even Teddy Bridgewater is the current backup for the Bucks. Uh, Joe Brady is getting head coach interviews, and he's an offensive coordinator of the Bills. He's getting major head coach interviews. You know, we failed to build around those guys, and our head coach and GM failed to do that. That's who I'm going to blame it on. You know, not really blame, but that's just a statement. So,
It looks like we got some audio issues, Pickle.
yeah,
Let Sam
yeah,
Donald say.
okay, we hear you now. So, uh,
D, we didn't hear much of that, brother. I'm gonna just be real with you.
uh, guys, we have the Bills, the Ravens, are the Bills, the Raiders, the Browns, and the Cardinals left for head coach jobs. I think that's it. Um, the Rams offensive coordinator has interviewed twice with Arizona. Joe Brady's interviewed twice for the Raiders. Rivero's interviewed twice for the Raiders. The Browns are going with either their defensive coordinator or their or Todd Monken. One of those, I think. Um, what y'all think? Who fills those jobs?
I think the Rams OC
Rivero.
goes to the Raiders. Even though I think that's the only shot left for Evero head coaching wise this year, this off season is the Raiders. But I do think they're going to go with an offensive minded head coach mainly because we all pretty much know who their first round pick is going to be. The first overall pick is going to be Fernando Mendoza, and they want to pair him with a young offensive minded coach to help him develop, so to
Right.
speak, as a rookie. I have no idea what the Cardinals are going to do. I mean, to be honest with you, I would even want that job. I truthfully would not.
Well, Jake, let me ask you a question. Who's the worst job? Which is the worst job currently open? The Browns, Arizona, or the Raiders?
I think it's got to be Arizona. Truthfully, I mean, you got the Raiders with the first overall pick. They're going to get their franchise quarterback. The Browns, they have a great defense. They got a young quarterback that's developing into the guy that they need, been wanting for years now.
Right.
It has to be Arizona because their next head coach is going to move on from
Right.
Kyler Murray. They're not going to have a quarterback. They don't have an early enough pick to get a quarterback this year. So I mean, to me personally, it has to be Arizona.
Pickle, I
Um,
think Cleveland's the worst spot to try to get a head coaching job right now. Just
I
because your team's gonna suck, and it just I don't like anything they got going on over
it,
there
it,
right
it,
now.
it's curiosity that there's so many players, there's so many potential candidates pulling out of the Cleveland job.
There's a
I
reason.
Yeah, well, I kind of tried to look that up and shoot some questions out. And I think I'm going to go with the fact that the Cleveland's owner is telling head coaches who they who to start at quarterback. He's telling them who they're going to start at quarterbacks. And if that's true, that's a bad way to do business.
Yeah, if that
Even
is
in the
true, then
NFL.
that shoots it up to number one because
Right.
you don't want to have a owner or even a GM. Like you're supposed to work with the GM. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not supposed to be bullheaded and be like I'm gonna run this thing. You're not the damn head coach. You're supposed to work as a tandem. I mean, a unit, so to speak. And you definitely don't want to have that in the organization going on right now.
Pickle, we would know about a meddling owner too, and I'm proud of him right now for not being that. Shout out to ours.
Um. Let me see here. New Mexico native who transferred to Vanderbilt and an SEC newcomer honors uh Diego Vanderbilt's quarterback Diego
Pavia,
Pavlova. Yeah. According to measurements at the
Just
West
wild.
Rainbow, is actually 210 pounds. Or no,
Did you see his
his
height?
height is 5'10".
5'9". I
Well,
seen
yeah, well,
5'9".
I'm reading it here. It says uh Pablo's gap drew extra attention since even his New Mexico state listing was closer to 5'10". ESPN and Vanderbilt still shows 6 foot. For NFL scouts, his sub 5'10" frame could even eliminate him to a day 3 pick or undrafted status.
That would make him the shortest quarterback, even shorter than Kyler Murray and Bryce Young.
Right. That probably going to be Bryce's backup, y'all. Just saying.
so me and Diego's about the same height.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Good for him, man. I hope he lands somewhere,
right.
does something
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I hope he lands in a good spot for himself because he don't need to go somewhere that they're not going to give him a shot and they're not going to have people around him and they just throw
Right.
him to the wolves, so to speak.
Right. Right.
Pickle, all it takes is an emergency start, and he thrives for 3 games, and somebody else will want to try him out for a whole season.
That's
That's
true.
all it'll take.
That's true. That's very true. But it's nothing unusual. At Alabama, they listed Bryce Young as 6 foot.
I'm sure they did.
They do
They
that all the time.
actually,
They don't even just do that for quarterbacks. They do it
They
for
do
all
it
they do it for
positions.
deliberate.
everybody. Right.
Yeah, they're very deliberate with that shit.
Well, boys, that's all I got to chat about. Y'all got anything you want to talk about?
I'm excited about tomorrow. I know y'all have already mentioned it, but we can't stream it, but we'll do a live reaction to it, and I'm looking forward to
Right.
see these upcoming plays and get into our homework for the draft.
Deeze, you still with us?
Yeah, I just keep lagging, so I sat over here
Okay.
quietly because
Yeah.
I know I keep cutting out, so I was just staying quiet and letting y'all carry the conversation because it could cut out here any second. Just doing a plug Friday. We got a new show, Invader Spotlight, coming up Friday. We're looking for people to get on there and play a little bit of a game around the Carolina Panthers and the current news. All you got to do is just bring your takes and opinions with you. That's all you need. We need a few people to sign up for the Invaders, and the chat will be active. The chat will be getting points in that
Right.
episode Friday coming up. Pickle, if you want to elaborate.
Yeah, and y'all, there will be a link in the chat to get on the show Friday, 7 o'clock. Step into the spotlight. Are y'all in? You can be a Vader guest. The team you can play in the team chat, or you can get on the show. Uh, you know, y'all check us out Friday. Keep pounding, y'all.
Keep pounding, Pickle.
Keep pounding.